Snow fell relentlessly, blanketing the suburban streets of Colorado in a pure, muffled hush. Christmas Eve had arrived, but the world seemed paused beneath the thick white veil. Gabriel Whitman's black SUV crept through the icy traffic, his hands steady on the wheel. In the back seat, his 5-year-old daughter, Lily, hung softly, clutching a gingerbread cookie between mittened fingers. The main road ahead was blocked, forcing Gabriel to detour onto a quieter street along the city park. Snow crunched beneath the tires as he drove slowly, cautious. Then Lily's small voice broke through the stillness. "Daddy?" "Stop." Gabriel's brow furrowed. "What is it, sweetheart?" Pressing her tiny hand to the glass, Lily whispered, "There's a lady under the tree." He slowed the SUV, eyes scanning the edge of the park. Beneath a withered pine, a young woman slumped in a wheelchair, her blonde hair matted with snow. Her arms clutched a torn paper bag, an old leather suitcase resting at her side. Her shoulders shook with silent sobs, as if the cold itself was secondary to her grief. When she finally noticed them, her wide eyes reflected shock, surprise, disbelief. "I'm not asking questions," Gabriel said softly, his voice calm despite the cold biting at his face. "But you cannot stay out here." The woman opened her mouth, but no sound came. Gabriel glanced at Lily, who had already hopped out of the car, boots crunching in the snow. She approached the stranger, eyes wide and honest, and reached out her mittened hand with a simple smile. "I think my mommy sent you to us," Lily said. The woman's face crumpled. She began to cry openly, releasing years of restrained sorrow. Without hesitation, Gabriel scooped her into his arms. Her body was cold, frail to light, clinging to the back as if it were her only anchor. Snow fell heavier around them. Inside the SUV, Lily slid over to make room. "She can sit with me," she said cheerfully. Gabriel gently settled Elora Bennett in the back seat, wrapping a scarf around her neck, fastening the seatbelt, before climbing into the driver's seat. Elora leaned against the frosted window, trembling with the chill and exhaustion, while Lily slipped her small hand into Elara's frozen fingers. As Gabriel drove into the snow, the world outside seemed endless and white. Elora, with nothing, left no home, no family, no warmth, had no idea that this night would mark a beginning, not an end. The scent of pine and cinnamon filled the quiet house. Elora stirred under thick blankets, brushing unfamiliar, warm sheets with her fingers. The soft light of the room and flickering embers in the fireplace greeted her gently. Lily's voice, bright and excited, broke the calm. "You're awake." She flung herself into Elara's arms before she could even sit up, hugging her with the unrestrained affection of a child. "I knew you were a snow angel," Lily whispered into her shoulder. "Daddy said you just needed rest." Elora glanced around the room. Grand molding, high ceilings, shelves lined with books, a crystal snow globe glinting by the window. "Where's your father?" she asked. As if on cue, Gabriel appeared, still in his suit pants and dark sweater, carrying a tray with tea and soup. He paused at the doorway, giving a quiet, polite nod. "You're safe here. No one will ask you to explain anything." "Not yet." Elora hesitated. "I'll leave once the snow stops." He didn't push, only placed the tray on the side table and handed her a folded note. "Alone." She opened it. "Neat handwriting read, 'If you need silence, I'll give you that. But if you need a place to start again, there's space here.'" The word struck a chord deep inside her. In the following days, snow continued to fall, thick and unrelenting, blanketing the world in silence. Inside Gabriel's home, life stirred. Elora moved quietly between rooms, careful not to take space. But Lily refused to let her fade away. The little girl followed her, drawing constantly, sketching 3 figures: a man, a little girl, and a woman in a wheelchair. "This one is you," Lily said proudly, pointing to the golden-haired figure. "You're the fairy in the snow." Elora had to look away, a faint warmth stirring inside her. One afternoon, while Gabriel was occupied on a business call upstairs, Lily wandered outside without a coat. Elora, reading near the fireplace, noticed she was gone. Panic rose. She wheeled herself to the back door, calling for Lily, her breath sharp in the cold. No answer. Pushing through the slippery snow ramp, Elara's tear crunched through fresh powder. Finally, near the edge of the garden, she saw Lily crouched near a bush, sobbing. Elora rushed forward, arms trembling, and embraced the child fiercely. "You're okay. You're okay," she whispered, pressing her cheek to Lily's hair as tears froze on her face. Gabriel arrived, breathless, at the edge of the snow. He froze, taking in the sight of Elora holding Lily, her body trembling from cold and fear. Gratitude swelled in him, but deeper than that, a stirring long dormant, a recognition of courage, love, and the heart's capacity to heal. That night, with the fire low and Lily curled on the couch with Coco, Gabriel watched Ilira. She was quiet, calm, present, no longer simply a stranger in need. She had begun to choose love over fear, bravery over comfort. The snow still fell outside, but inside, warmth had begun to return. Days melted into a gentle rhythm. Ilira settled into life at the Whitman home. Not quite a guest, not fully family, but something in between. She folded Lily's laundry, read bedtime stories when Gabriel worked late, and arranged spices in the kitchen with quiet pride. Yet Gabriel sensed an unspoken weight she carried, memories she had yet to share. One snowy evening, with Lily asleep and the house wrapped in silence, Gabriel found Ilira alone by the fireplace, sketchpad on her lap. He sat a few feet away. "You used to draw," he said softly. Ilira didn't look at him. "I taught art at a public school in Brooklyn," she finally admitted. "I started a mural project for underfunded schools. I wanted the kids to see color, even if their lives felt gray." She turned the pad toward him. A garden of handprints morphed into butterflies, bright, chaotic, joyous. "This one was for a school in East Flatbush," her voice faltered. Gabriel leaned in. "What happened?" "There was an accident," she said quietly. "A car jumped the curb one morning. I pushed a child out of the way, but I didn't make it. I woke up in a hospital, couldn't feel my legs, lost my job, lost my partner. 6 months later, my mother had a stroke." Her voice was tired, not dramatic. She met his eyes. "I'm not telling you this for pity. You don't need it." "I see you," Gabriel said. She gave a sad, fleeting smile. "I'm not sure I even see myself anymore." 3 days later, Gabriel stood across the street from the Brooklyn school. The building had aged, paint peeling from the mural wall. Beneath the damage, he saw the faint butterflies and handprints, the joy that Ilira had poured into it. He hired artists, gave them her photo, and instructed them to restore every detail. At the end, a small bronze plaque was added, the heart that colored children's dreams. "Miss E back home." He handed Ilira the photo. She gasped, tears slipping down her cheeks, not from sadness, nor from gratitude, but from the deep validation of being seen for who she had been. In January, a letter arrived from a research hospital offering a full evaluation and experimental spinal procedure, fully funded. Her heart raced at the thought of regaining mobility. That night, after Lily slept, Ilira held the envelope, trembling. She loved them more than she could admit, but she wasn't theirs, and leaving might spare them. Packing at dawn, she folded clothes carefully, took down Lily's paper flowers, tucked the silver bell from her wheelchair into her bag. Halfway through, Lily's small voice stopped her. "Why are you packing?" Barefoot, pajamas rumpled, clutching a stuffed bunny. Lily's eyes filled with tears. "You're leaving? But you're my snow fairy." Ilira knelt, voice gentle. "I'm not leaving because I want to. I have to for something important." "That's what Mommy said. She said she'd come back." Lily's sobs shook her. "And now you're doing the same thing." "No, Lily." "It's not the same," Ilira whispered. Gabriel arrived, jaw tight, voice shaking. "You thought disappearing would hurt less? I got accepted into a program. They might help me walk again," she said, holding up the letter. "You think this is easy for me?" He snapped, rising. "Do you think I just bring anyone into my daughter's life? You've already lost someone, and I'm not letting that happen again." Ilira stared at him, tears streaming silently. Gabriel's voice softened. "You matter, not because of what you've lost, but because of who you are. We don't want goodbye. We want you." For the first time that morning, Ilira nodded. She wasn't leaving. The suitcase remained under the bed. The letter waited unread in a drawer. She had chosen to stay. Days turned into therapy sessions, long and exhausting, but steady. Each afternoon, she returned home hopeful. One day, Lily presented a glittery, lopsided paper snowflake badge. "For being brave, Snow Warrior, the bravest in the world." Ilira pinned it to her sweater, whispering, "I'll wear it forever." Snow melted slowly as spring approached. One morning, news vans crowded the street, reporters shouting questions at Gabriel about turning down an $80 million merger. Ilira watched from the porch, heart pounding. His world was polished and public, hers quieter, private. She wondered quietly, in his world, is there a place for someone like me? Ilira pressed forward in her own way. At the rehabilitation center, she took 4 shaky steps along parallel bars. On the fifth, her knees buckled. A hand reached for her, not the therapist's, but Gabriel's. He held her, seeing all of her courage, fragility, and fire. Later, he led her through the house, down a hallway she hadn't noticed before, and opened a freshly painted room. Lavender walls, shelves filled with sketchbooks, an easel in the corner, a plaque. Ella Bennett's studio. He handed her the blueprint, precise notes in his handwriting. This is your home too, if you want it to be. I don't want to rescue you. I just want to stand beside you, in the quiet of that little room, with Christmas lights glowing and snow falling outside. Their first kiss was soft, steady, warm, a moment of healing, not rescue. Two hearts, broken once, found something whole. A year later, Ella stood in a sunlit classroom, leaning on her crutches but moving confidently. Children's laughter and paint filled the air. She had launched a free art program for kids with disabilities and underprivileged families, with quiet support from Gabriel. She no longer felt confined, afraid, or waiting for life to begin elsewhere. That evening, Lily ran into her arms. "Hi, Mommy," she whispered. "You're the girl with the snow heart." Their home glowed with warmth, laughter, and love. They decorated the Christmas tree together, hanging ornaments, stringing lights, and placing handmade snowflakes at the top. Gabriel returned with a small velvet box. Inside, a vintage ring. "It was my mother's. She would have loved you. This time, I'm not letting something good slip away." Ella smiled softly. Lily squealed, hugging them both. The winter that began in sorrow had ended in warmth, family, and love. That night, Ella, Gabriel, and Lily sat together, not needing to save each other. They simply found each other. A story of second chances, quiet courage, and a love that heals without needing to fix a millionaire single dad. A brave girl in the snow, and a little girl who knew the magic of the heart.